Hello, everybody, and welcome to Amateur Cast, where getting you and your replays to be casted for my entertainment, and hopefully to help you improve a little bit as well. I am your host, ZookaMan, and we're going to be going into a TVZ. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our players. We are going to have in the bottom left, we're going to be having DeltaFaid as the red Terran player, and his opponent on the opposite side of the map, our hero, NinjaDuckBob. He's going to be in the blue. He's going to have drones. He's going to have minerals. He's going to be an overall cool cat. And I just realized my life bars are actually... Nope, never mind, they're not on. Here I am freaking out about how they're on, but I was selecting the hatchery. So what's up, guys? It's been a long time since I've done any sort of casting anything. And I will say that with complete, honest sincerity. I am rusty. So just a little bit of a warning going into this cast. I'm very rusty. I haven't done a lot of casting recently. So hopefully I can get back into the swing of things and get back into the regular stuff. Because regular stuff is good. Now, taking a look at the matchup itself here for a few seconds, we have the TVZ matchup, and TVZ, I've said it before, I'll say it probably until long after my casting career is over. I think TVZ is one of the more interesting matchups out there right now, up there with the PVZ matchup, as much as I hate playing it, and even to a certain extent PvP matchup. It's a very interesting matchup, TVZ. You see a lot of interesting things from both sides. I have seen Bio play from Terran against Ling Bangling Muta. I have seen Mech play against Ling Bangling Muta. I've seen a lot of things from both sides. Terran player is going to be saying no for some reason. Maybe he lost an SCV or something over across the map, which is probably the most likely situation. We're going to be seeing NinjaDuckBob dropping down a spawning pool. He does, of course, have his natural on the way. Gas has been taken, so we're probably going to be seeing a quicker metabolic boost. It's not going to be too out of the ordinary. I know a lot of Berserk players are wanting to get a little bit of extra defense, especially in this matchup, where the Terran player can be a bit unpredictable at times. Back home from our Terran player, he is going to be getting his gas. He does have one barracks up. Looks like he's probably going to be going into a factory opening. He's actually going to go into a CC first, which is not too out of the ordinary. We'll have to see exactly what he's planning on doing off of this barracks to see exactly what his plans are for here. But I think that a factory tech isn't really too far off as far as a prediction is concerned. Metabolic boost is on its way from NinjaDuckBob, so we're probably going to be seeing speedlings enter the field in just a little bit here. So they'll be able to dodge around, get a little bit of scouting information. Doesn't look like he's looking to do any sort of really crazy early attack of any sort. So he's just probably going to be getting those up for extra little bit of defense while he gears himself up to get the drones and start moving up onto his third base. Factory is on the way. We are going to be seeing the barracks go for the reactor. Yes, sirree, it is going to be reactor play. So it is going to be a Hellion opening, which is definitely not out of the ordinary in the matchup. It is very, very standard to see. So I'm a little bit curious to see exactly what his plans are following this up. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. My bet is you're probably going to just try to run in and get as many drones as you possibly can and just kind of go from there. Meanwhile, is going to be now finishing up, which is very much going to help out our Zerg player in being able to defend against those Hellions. He is, of course, only on one gas right now, which means we're not going to be seeing something like really quick roaches, though a roach warren in the near future wouldn't be too bad of an idea. Last time when I really stopped casting for a while, I know that Hellbat openings were becoming very popular against Zerg players who don't go for the roach warren earlier on. So if that has changed, which I don't, Roach Warren's still probably a good idea to grab it in case your opponent's going for Hellions, or excuse me, Hellbats, just for extra little bit defense. we're going to be seeing the Orbital Command come on down to that natural expansion. We are going to be seeing Zerglings popping on in, heading straight for that CC, and they are gnawing away on that surface. Here comes the liftoff. Orbital Command is going to be forced to go into the main base. And this is really annoying as a Terran player to deal with, especially considering the fact that most of your early game anti-light units is going to be in the Hellions. And Hellions aren't going to help very much against a large number of Zerglings in very small numbers, because Zerglings are just going to be able to surround them very easily, which is going to cause a little bit of what we would consider problems. We have Stim on the way. Hellions are moving out to help take care of these Zerglings. Zerglings are going to be getting up on the Hellions, and they're just going to be able to cut off one, but I think that that's going to be pretty much dealt with these 4 Hellions on the ramp. But something to be taken away from this, though, is that NinjaDuckBob forced his opponent not to move across the map with those Hellions, and now, yes, he's going to be able to do so, but he gave himself a little bit of time to get the proper defenses up. He's going to be going for quite a number of Spore Crawlers, which is a little bit interesting. Maybe he's a little bit more concerned about a Banshee follow-up to this, in which case it's a pretty decent idea. It looks like DeltaFaid is going to be going up into Widowmine play, so it's possible that we're going to be seeing a mech transition here. He is going to get Stim, so it's not likely, but it's very possible. We could be seeing something along the lines of Biomine. I know Biomine is extremely popular. At least it was extremely popular in the matchup. I still, honestly, at the end of the day, prefer tanks as a player and as a caster, but I can definitely see the uses of the Widowmine. Zerglings are going to be running in. They're going to be triggering off those mines. Going to lose quite a clump there. The rest are going to be getting up onto these Marines army, which is just, they're just going to back up towards that wall and get nice and comfy. We have a couple of Hellions up here at the third base just to scout when that is coming down, but it doesn't look like NinjaDuckBob is planning on doing that anytime soon. We're going to be dropping down a Bangling nest. Oh man, I love Banglings in the matchup because they're able to do a lot. We're going to have the Hellions run on into the natural expansion, and they're going to be in a little bit of danger. Drones are going to be fighting this off, which is a very curious decision, but it is going to take care of those Hellions, and he didn't lose all that much in that engagement. Only about 7 workers killed. For 4 Hellions is not really too good of a deal. 1-1 is on its way from our Terran player. We do have the Hydralisk going to be coming out right now from NinjaDuckBob. So we're going to be seeing a Ling Hydra Bangling build, which is a little bit curious. I know Ling Hydra is a thing in the early game because it sets up really late for the later on stages of the game, but I don't think I've ever seen this particular style, and it might be just because I'm out of date. We're going to have a drop coming out across the map. Combat shields on their way. DeltaFaid is looking really good as far as his upgrades are concerned. That is not what I want. Is that what I want? Yes, that is what I want. 36 to 45 harvesters right now in favor of our Zerg player. There's going to be a drop off in the main base, and those Marines are going to head straight on over. They're going to be engaging straight into that middle line. A couple of Spore Crawlers are going to be helping to take out one of the medevacs. The second one is going to be still safe, but oh no, NinjaDuckBob, not the spawning pool. The spawning pool is going to be taking a lot of damage here, but I think he's going to be able to hold this off. Of course, the medevac is going to go off into the corner where it's going to be able to chill for the time being. Third base is up and operational. No moves for third base yet from our Terran player, but he's feeling pretty comfortable on 2 bases. I would love to see him drop down third fairly shortly, and he's going to lose his medevac up there, which is a little bit unfortunate. It's going to force him to get another medevac out, as well as a little bit more units, but then again, he has a lot of Marines out on the map right now. That is a lot of Marines. Looks like he's going to be heading out to take his third. Yes, here we go. 1-1 is going to be finishing up. No upgrades really have been made yet from our Zerg player, which is a little bit of a mistake from there. It's going to give our Terran player a little bit of an extra edge, and that's not necessarily what you want to have happen with a bio army that's already powerful enough in the first place. we're going to be seeing a infestation pit back home while our Terran player is moving out across the map, looking to do a little bit of damage. He's going to going for Marines, and I think there's a couple of Widow Mines at the front to help that out. A couple up here as well to give him a little bit of an advantageous position. There is going to be a little bit of an engagement up on the ridge here. Delta trying to get a little bit of a favorable engagement and force the units to come to him, where his Widow Mines are the most effective. Units are going to be rolling in here. They're going to be hitting on into those Widow Mines, but that's only going to be able to kill really one Bangling, and really, Widow Mines really need to get shots off on the Banglings primarily to help really make this work. But it looks like NinjaDuckBob just really had too much for Delta to be able to deal with. Of course, he does have a couple Widow Mines here, which is going to hopefully come into play later. But it looks like we're having an Overseer finish up to help take that care of that. So, sadly, that is not going to be the case. We're going to be seeing Pathogen Glands on its way, and you guys know what that means. We're going to be seeing Infestors. Now, that's a unit that you don't see very often. Infestors are actually still pretty good of a unit, but you don't see them used very often because they're not quite as good as they were in the Wings of Liberty days. They definitely could stand to be a little bit better, but then again, I think that they're a very fun unit to use and very rewarding unit to use nowadays, so maybe that's all just a little bit of hot air. Lair is going to be morphing on into a Hive, so we're going to be seeing Tier 3 tech added on. Maybe, I don't know, I think probably Ultralisk would work best with this army, because he's playing a rather squishy army. He's playing a lot of light units, so yeah, probably Ultralisk, I would have to say. Third base is up. It's going to be a planetary fortress as opposed to an orbital, which is just, I honestly feel that an orbital probably would have been a better decision. I don't necessarily enjoy planetaries unless they're at 4th or 5th bases or at Ninja expansions, because there's really no point when you could be making money from the mules. And right now Delta could use with the extra income. But here comes the Terran army moving up into the natural expansion. Of course, he doesn't have much of anything in this army right now. There's going to be a scan coming up over here. They're going to be engaging here. The fungal growth is going to cause a lot of the units to stay in place, which is going to help out NinjaDuckBob immensely going into this fight. He doesn't have the upgrade advantage, but really, at the end of the day, doesn't look like he really needs it. They're forcing Delta to fall back home and really reconsider his options. We're going to be moving into Marauder Tech, which is a little bit curious to see. I like Marauders as much as the next guy, but this composition isn't necessarily the best against that. I would say if there were more Banglings in here, it would be a little bit more of a problem, but right now the biggest problem from our Terran player is these Infestors. So what I would suggest for him is to move up into the Ghost Tech so that he can get out a couple of EMPs off on the Infestors and keep them from being able to use that fungal growth that's going to trap his units down so effectively. We're going to be seeing a drop coming up in the main base right about now. We have a Marine chasing that down. He wants to be involved, but there was not enough room, guys. Here comes the medevac going straight on into that main base. Oh, Delta, that is just so awkward. There's going to be a scan coming out over here. He's going to be seeing pretty much the entirety of the army from our Zerg player. We do have that Adrenal Glands coming out as well as the 111. 3 upgrades at a time, guys. That's just crazy to think about. 4th base is on its way from our Terran player. Would love to see a 4th base drop down from our Zerg player as well, if not a 5th base. But oh no, guys. We're going to be seeing them. The big bad BCs themselves. The Ultralisks are on their way to halfway done right now from our Terran player, which might just be his only saving grace in this matchup right now. He doesn't have the compositional advantage. He doesn't have the economic advantage. He needs to find some sort of advantage. He has a nice medevac count, but he needs to kind of find a way to get back into this. I think the Ultralisks are going to be the biggest problem coming into this. Especially considering that the Festers can just boom, boom, and then all of a sudden the entire army is locked down so that those Ultralisks can get on top of them. And that is just a little bit of an awkward situation for all Terrans involved. We do have pre-numerized Carapace coming out, which is the movement speed of Overlords. Just had to double check my guys. 5th base is coming out from Delta. Over here at the gold base, Overseer is going to fly over and get shot down practically immediately. Looks like there was a bunker coming up over there, but that is going to get chased away by a few Hydralisks. Vehicles and ship weapons are on their way. He's going to be moving up into that, which is probably going to help out his Widow Mines quite a bit. He is going to be moving directly into 3-3. Right now, he is on 2-2 compared to his opponent's 1-1, which is going to help. Excuse me, which is going to help a lot in this fight. We'll just kind of have to see how this is going to go. I'm not too sure. I feel like just at the end of the day, NinjaDuckBob has a better composition. But it looks like we're be seeing the Zerg army moving out right about now. Zerglings, SCVs going to just be demolished there. This base is going to be under fire, forced to cancel. NinjaDuckBob is going to be moving straight on down to the 3rd, where the Terran army is going to attempt to... Terran army is just going to back up, apparently. There is going to be a Widow Mine hit off on that Ultras. Ultras number 2 is down, but there is a large army moving up into the 3rd base. That 3rd base is going to go down, but our Terran army is going to be moving out across the map in those dropships. He wants to get a Doom Drop off right now, but at the end of the day, I'm not really sure it's going to help him too much. I mean, there's a lot of units out across the map that are going to be breaking into the natural, down with the wall, down with the SCVs. A lot of units are over here. The Doom Drop is going to be making itself into the main base. It's going to be able to get damage off onto this hive. And by hive, I mean everything around the hive besides the hive. But I mean, the Zerg army is just going to look a little bit more powerful. The DPS of the Hydralisk is just going to be crazy. Boy, oh boy. NinjaDuckBob is pushing up into the main base right now, while DeltaFaid is not even able to clear out the main yet, which is going to be extremely awkward for him as more Ultras kind of start streaming in to make this a little bit more effective. He's going to be sending out most of his army back home to help defend against this, and he's going to push forward with the little units he has. Definitely confident in his abilities to finish off his opponent right now. And just going to pull back the units that he needs to help defend against this, take care of this, so that he's not in any sort of danger. Lots of units are going to be dying at the front here with the upgrade advantage, definitely in our Terran players' favor. But Ultralists really don't care about you having 3-3 over 1-1. They just take all of the damage. And Delta is going to be going for the well-played GGs going around for everyone. Alright guys, now is the time that, as always, as we take a look at what each of these players could have done better, so that you and they can learn a little bit for next time. So definitely, I think we're going to start with the Terran player, as we always start with a player who has lost. And kind of got ahead of my thoughts there I kind of got ahead of what I was trying to go for. Delta definitely was playing a good match, had a little bit of a gas bank there, which was a problem, but I think the biggest thing for him was that his composition was off. And that he wasn't able to scout off and be able to react accordingly. I think that's really the big thing for Delta. Something good I think that he did was that he was able to keep up on those upgrades better than a Zerg player. He was on 3-3 by the end of the game there, and that's really important to keep up on your upgrades. But at the end of the day, if your composition isn't right, there's not a whole lot you can do, especially against an army composition such as what we see from NinjaDuckBob, which is essentially made to pick apart a bio army. Now, taking a look at a Zerg player, he did remarkably well. Work a little bit on the bank, of course. That's a problem a lot of Zerg players face, is not being able to take care of that bank accordingly. So that's definitely what I had to say for him. I feel like he was playing a little bit more defensive. His composition itself was a little bit weird. That might just be for my lack of experience with this particular composition, but I have not seen it a whole lot. Apparently it works because it won him a game, so at least there's that. So I definitely think that the bank is going to be the big thing. And expansions would be important too, because you need to expand a little bit better. Definitely was a little bit behind with that. You always want to be at least one base ahead of your opponent as a Zerg player. And really, as any player, that's a good kind of rule of thumb to go by. The third base was delayed. I believe it's 6 to 8 minutes for a third base in a very standard matchup. I don't remember the exact timing for fourth bases, which I think it kind of varies depending upon your strategy. Okay, guys, I do think that will be it for this one. Before I go, a couple of real quick announcements. If you like this cast, please comment, like, subscribe, and share. If you'd like to get your game casted by me, you can send a replay on over to ZookaMan900@gmail.com. Or if you'd like to just get a replay casted and don't mind if it's me or not, check the subreddit Cast It, which they will both be in the description below for you guys to check out. Really, just check out Cast It in general. It's a great place to upload replays, get your replays casted, get a lot of opinions from people in the community that are around you. It's a good place to be. I widely suggest it. Alright guys, I believe that's going to be it for me. So this is ZookaMan, and we'll see you guys on the next cast. Take care, guys.